I don't want to wear something where people are like, oh my God, I got the same one off of Amazon. We are not the same. Who gonna know the difference? Nobody. Nobody, unless you work for Van Cleef. But at the end of the day, you are ultimately paying for that name, Cartier, plus the price of the gold itself. Whereas you could just go get something made personally for you and literally pay, again, a fraction of the price. Mary Kate and Ashley, if y'all ever see this video, I love y'all so much. Geminis, I love y'all like my daddy was a Gemini. But why y'all got this flip-flop that ain't even leather for $690? It says something about people that wear the robe. You know, they're chic. They're kind of like, see you next Thursday. Although I feel like I am those things, I can't justify it just to fit into that type of category. Or I'm going to give that anyway, but it doesn't have to be $1,000 flip-flop. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is your girl, Sierra here. Okay, some of y'all would be in the comments like, what do you be saying? Sierra here, okay? Sierra here. That's what I be saying, y'all. So if you see my last video, then you guys know that your girl is on a journey to becoming more feminine, and that is definitely going to be the huge umbrella topic for my videos coming forth. And basically I was just thinking about like things that I feel like I need to implement, and then I just got on the topic of things I don't want to implement. And not to be negative, but these are things that I will not be implementing on my feminine journey, okay? And these are things that I think are popular amongst the feminine community, or like the girly girls, or like the real, you know, boss, you know? And with that being said, I'm going to explain why these items are just not for me, okay? And if you've been following me on here for some time, then I'm pretty sure some of y'all can gather why I'm going to say some of these items are not for me. Before we get into this video, do not forget to click the little like button, okay? I would really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. Okay, so first up on the list is going to be the Roe Margot bag. And short and simple, I will not be partaking in this bag ever. Although I adore it, I adore the Roe totally as a brand. However, when it comes down to brands that are popular or getting a little bit more, you know, press or whatever, people are wearing it, the influencers are wearing it, Amazon, Fashion Nova, Zara, they hop on the train real quick, okay? And the dupes be just too close for me. At this point, to the eye, cannot tell the Margot bag from the Amazon bag, okay? And to me, that's a problem. And I know people will argue, which I will even argue, that, you know, the Margot bag is probably well made, really nice leather that's gonna age so gracefully. And it's simple enough to the point where it's classic, you know, it's a timeless bag. However, the fact that girls are walking around with the $50 version, okay, and it's blending in with the real version, and you spent $6-7K on it, it's too close for me. It's too close for comfort. Yeah, I just feel like even if I was in the space to like drop that on that bag or drop that on a bag, it wouldn't be that bag. And again, I really like the bag. I really think that it's a, you know, functional bag. I see people carry like their laptops in it and carry-ons and things like that. Now, from a function standpoint, sure. But I feel like if you just looking at it like a bag is a bag, actually, I would never get the Amazon version either. I don't want to wear something where people are like, oh my God, I got the same one off of Amazon. We are not the same. So yeah, that is the first up on the list, the Roe Margot bag. And I hate to add that to the list because again, I really do love the Roe. Next up is going to be any new Bottega Intrecciato weave bag, okay? And Intrecciato, I think I be saying it wrong, but y'all know what I'm trying to say, okay? The weave. We all know the weave when it comes down to Bottega. Now, again, Amazon with the Jody dupe, it's just too close. It's too close. I actually was talking to a lady too who told me that she ended up selling all of her Jodys on the real because she was like, I'm just gonna go get the Amazon version. Especially, I feel like too, when it comes down to like the small Jody, people just be wearing that bag to go out, or, you know, when they want to feel cutesy. And it's like you get the same cutesy with the Amazon version, I guess, you know? And again, I don't support the Amazon version. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, it's too close. You cannot tell the difference. Now, of course, if you start to feel the leather, you look at like the details closely, sure. So it's like you are, yes, a part of a coat, but it's like a cheap coat and the real deal coat. I don't know. I just feel like, me personally, I'm not going to wear a bag where there's a really, really close dupe. I'm just going to do some more digging, do some more research, look in some European sites or some Nigerian-based brands. I feel like newer emerging brands that are making really well-made things, but for a fraction of the price. I pride myself and I have integrity when it comes down to things that I wear. So I never want to wear something that people are like, oh, Amazon. Like, never. Never. And obviously, comment down below if you feel me. Like, I am not trying to be this bourgeois type of a person. Like, I'm not bougie. I am a little bit bougie, but it's due to the things that I've experienced in my life that makes me that way. For instance, I was a server, right? So I really value good service when I'm going out, because I know what it's like to be a server. I know what it takes to be a good server. You know, like, I'm not going out to be like, oh yeah, I want sparkling water, darling. I don't like sparkling water. I'm good with tap. So I say that to say, like, my bourgeoisness is coming from life, okay? Like, I stopped buying Zara, I stopped buying fast fashion for a reason, because it just didn't hold up. Like, I wash it, it don't fit the same, it don't look the same, and then I found myself buying more to like replace what I just bought 2 weeks ago. Whereas when you buy of luxury, obviously it's gonna uphold all those types of things that I always say on my channel all the time. Now, that is to say about the Margot bag, about the Bottega bag, but it's just unfortunate that, again, there are just so many dupes out there. So I would advise personally is, again, look to the newer up and coming brands that are making really well-made, handmade pieces for a fraction of the price. I think I talked about it in my last style video. Jose Bravo is a handbag maker here in New York City. And he's a one-man show right now, I think, or small team. And his bags are just beautiful, you know, and they are of quality, like, they're functional. Granted, like, I think he has some in leather. The one that I have is like a canvas, so you can't like wear it probably in all types of seasons. However, I'm not gonna find a dupe on Amazon, okay, period. Like, it is what it is. Next up is going to be the Toteme shawl coat. And I know some of y'all gonna hate me for it, because I feel like every other girl in Soho has this little coat. Now, with that being said, when that happens, the it girls in Soho are having the coats on, the same types of coats on. Again, the Zaras, the Sheins are gonna catch on. The Mangoes are gonna catch on. And they're like, okay, this is trendy right now. Let's make our little version right here. And for me, when it comes down to that coat, again, up close, when you feel the weight of the wool, sure, you can tell the Toteme one from the Mango or the Toteme from the Zara or whatever type of brands be making it for a quarter of the price. But to the eye, baby, I see people in that coat and I just be like, is it Zara or Toteme? And I ain't gonna lie, I be a little bit shady, but I be for real though. Cause I'm like, wow, the dupes are just getting too good out here, y'all. They getting too good out here. And I love Toteme as a brand, especially because I think that their prices always matches the garments that they sell. Like, for instance, their wool sweaters would be like $6.90, but it's 100% wool or cashmere, you know, so that's not a bad price for that. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that every like quiet luxury brand, which it used to be exactly that, quiet, if you know type of a vibe, but in this day and age, everybody has wanted to jump on the quiet luxury train. So therefore you got the dupes, baby. And that Toteme shawl, it got some dupes. Okay. The next item I will not be partaking in on my feminine journey is going to be the Row flip-flops, okay? Now, I want to say specifically this flip-flop right here. I'm not going to lie to you. Mary-Kate and Ashley, if y'all ever see this video, I love y'all so much. Geminis, I love y'all. Like my daddy was a Gemini. But why y'all got this flip-flop that ain't even leather for $690? I just feel like where y'all came from, where Mary-Kate and Ashley came from, baby. You used to get they little clothing lines in Target and Walmart. You think that this girl grew up and now is gonna spend $690 on a flip? Or maybe she can. And I say that to say that not necessarily everybody grew up and is now, that was a fan of them back then, is now in the tax bracket to buy $690 styrofoam flip-flops. Okay, now I'm not gonna lie, like I tried this flip-flop on and it is pretty thick, like it's pretty sturdy, the band, everything. But to me, when it comes down to the material of this flip-flop, I'm gonna implement or insert the fabric because I don't know. All I know is it's not leather. And for me to pay that much for literally a flip-flop, granted, I think it could be justifiable for someone that maybe stays in like a hot climate. But even still, if it was leather, because if that's the case, I'm gonna go to somewhere that TikTok shop and give me a flip-flop for literally $15, $20, baby, that could have been made in a small little village, handmade, but it's $15 to $20. And it's made of the same materials. And I'm not saying that it's the same quality. Of course not, it's not the same quality, but it's disheartening to know that when I see a flip-flop like that made of those types of materials, to me it's just like these brands get to a point where they're like, oh yeah, people gonna buy it just because it's the raw, okay, or it's Toteme, or it's this, or it's that. Not Toteme, because Toteme, I feel like, again, they just be pretty practical when it comes down to their pricing. But y'all know what I mean, Celine and things like that. To me, it just doesn't make sense. Like that really like blew me. Now they do have the leather flip-flop, which I think is like $900, $1,000. And again, with my experience working in retail and selling luxury goods, for me, it's definitely very much so important for me to feel like this makes sense price-wise. And one can argue that it never makes sense price-wise, right? Because the wholesale price literally be like not even, less than even a quarter of what they be charging. But I guess obviously they have to make a profit and all those types of things. But I say that to say like $1,000 for a flip-flop, and I was this close at one point, y'all. I was this freaking close to buying a flip-flop. But I remember me and my boyfriend at the time, because he was helping me buy them, we had saved up. He had saved up half, I had saved up half, okay? And when it came down to buying, he was like, are you gonna spend $1,000 on a flip-flop, Sierra? And for me, him saying that, him asking me that was enough. I was like, that sounds literally insane. Even though it is a leather flip-flop, even though I'm sure I could bring it out every summer, but just knowing that if I did a little bit more digging and tried to find, you know, even like a smaller brand that is doing it for less the price, a leather flip-flop, that's all it would have took, was for me to just do a little bit more digging. But for me, it's like I'm buying into a hype, and I never want to feel like I'm buying into a hype. I'm buying this item because it's the robe. It says something about people that wear the robe, you know, they're chic, they're kind of like, see you next Thursday. Although I feel like I am those things, I can't justify it just to fit into that type of category. Or I'm gonna give that anyway, but it doesn't have to be $1,000 flip-flop. And it's just the fact that it's a flip-flop. Such bare material used to even make a flip-flop, whether it's leather or styrofoam or rubber. Like, it's just not enough material to justify that $690 or that $990 or $1,000 for that. Like, unfortunately, no. Okay, last but certainly not least is going to be the Van Cleef Alhambra necklace. Too many dupes, girl. Too many dupes. I want to say on all the Van Cleef, just in general, okay? Like, and this is one thing too, when I worked on the Upper East Side, I was actually selling Van Cleef secondhand, Cartier, Tiffany, all those types of things. You go on Amazon, baby, it's the same Alhambra. You can't clock it. Especially if you just get the little Alhambra and then put a real little chain on it. Who gonna know the difference? Nobody. Nobody, unless you work for Van Cleef. And that necklace is like $3 I think. I want to say sometimes you can find it for like $2,500, or if it's super small, I think like $1,500, especially on like the secondary market. And especially too, what I learned when it comes down to jewelry, when I was selling jewelry, is sure, Cartier, it's real gold, right? Tiffany, they use real white gold or sterling or silver or whatever. But at the end of the day, you are ultimately paying for that name, Cartier, plus the price of the gold itself. Whereas you could just go get something made personally for you and literally pay, again, a fraction of the price. And I say that respectfully, because I remember when I was selling, again, Rolex and Cartier and Van Cleef, these people would come in like, oh my God, like I've been saving for this piece for months or for years, and now is the day that I finally would get it. And that moment will be so special. But I can't help but think in the back of my head, like, especially for those that lived on the Upper East Side or the Upper West Side, and all of their, you know, trust fund baby friends got the Cartier that was passed down to their family. Like, I can only imagine, like, people that think on that type of a level, whereas I have to get this item to, like, be respected or to feel more comfortable around my friends who have this piece. I personally just don't support that type of thinking. However, again, respect to those types of people. Like, I get it. At the end of the day, a Cartier bracelet is still beautiful. And if someone was to gift it to me, baby, I'm not turning it down. I'm not turning it down. Now, I say that to say I am one that aims to buy things myself, okay? I just feel better that way. And personally, I'm not ever buying myself no Cartier. But yeah, y'all, that is everything that your girl will not be partaking in along her feminine journey. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. What are things that you just find are too trendy or just too many dupes out there? Please let us know down in the comments. And I will see you guys in my next one. Peace.